baka, sir?
Sige, pa-submit lang until nga dili pa mag-end ang semester. Okay? Sige, pa-submit na siya. Okay.
Sir, salamat.
So okay na ta? Shall we have a recap on your midterm? Recap lang ako siya ha. I-recap lang ako and then we will have to proceed on our discussion after the midterm coverage. Okay, so mag-share screen ko. I hope you can open your... Sige, inyo na nakita, class. Have you seen this one? Have you seen this one, class?
Kita, sir.
Okay.
Kita, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sige. Kani magud isulat ato siya na discuss no, the introduction of crop science. Wala niya nahibaw ano. But I hope no when you read the content of modules 1, 2, 3, 4, at least namo siya na sabtan dito. Okay? So first is we need to define what is agriculture. Okay? As per concept of agriculture, now based on our um, what's this reference from Green Empire, agriculture is the systematic raising of useful plants and livestock under the management of man. So mana siya ang general concept of agriculture or the general definition of agriculture. The systematic raising of useful plants and animals, livestock under the management of man. So useful plants, okay, so let's say for example, mag-ingon ta o useful, those are the desirable plants, no, mga desired plants that has economic value, that has kini ang uh, we can use for income or for food, no, for instance. Okay, so nga na siya ang sa agriculture, no. But other than that, no, nga mga plants nga ginastudihan dito na to siya ma-fall sa botany, no? Sa botany na siya. Okay? But not all animals nato siyang studyhan under sa atong sa agriculture, no, kay sample ang dog, no, they are animals pero dili man siya domesticated. Okay? Dili man siya domesticated animals. Okay, so another term also is that agriculture is a purposeful work through which the elements of nature are harnessed to produce plants and animals to meet human needs. Okay, so this is actually our main goals, to produce plants and animals to meet our daily needs. Okay, in both terms, okay, broad industry engage in the production of plants and animals for fiber, for food and fiber. Okay, uh, for food and fiber. Sa kadjut lang kay si Paulo Angelo. Kay unsa na nga section si Paulo Angelo? Kinara class? Class, hello? Hello class?
Sir?
Kinakita nara ang presentation?
Yes, sir.
Kita man,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Nakita na.
Okay, gadget lang kayo kayo na ato ni sulod. Inyong classmate nara. Okay. Okay, the concept of crop science. So, moderate na ta sa crop science, no? Di mo to siya ang general concept of agriculture. Then we move to, actually, review naman ng gudi nato, no? Crop science. By the way, science is the systematic body of knowledge, no? Ano siya ang general na to, nga definition sa science. But in agriculture terms, science is systematically accumulated and tested knowledge. No, sa isa ka reference food, igatag sa crop science. Plant is any organism belonging to the kingdom Plantae, typically lacking active locomotion or obvious nervous system or sensory organs and has photosynthetic activity. Kaya di man gid maglakaw ang plants, di ba? So ang naay active locomotion is only the animals ang naay active locomotion. However, ang wala sa animals is ang photosynthetic activity. Kaya sa plants naman siya ang photosynthesis mahitabo. Okay. With that, okay, from siya ang general, no? Definition of plants. So we have also to define what is crop. Crop is domesticated or cultivated plants grown for profit. It usually connotes a group or population of cultivated plants. Okay, anything no nga kini ang gitanom for purpose of profit or income, that is what we call as crops. Okay? So, other than that, nga wala siya value, dili nato siya makonsider na crop. Pero magunahon ta karon kung unsa ka ang walay value karon nga tanom. So I think na miskin sagbot, di ba? Dati mag-ingon ta og sagbot na siya, pero when time of ni-invade ang nag-start ang plantita, makita nimo hala sagbot ra man sa una pero mahal na kay karon. Like what we call as the badyang, for example. No man ang badyang kay diha ra man sa daplin. Daplin na nato nakita, pero karon di kay na siya value because badyang is considered as ornamental plant. Okay? So na siya income. Therefore, diri din siya gi-define no ang crop science. Okay? From the agriculture alone, then gutad siya no ang two divisions of agriculture, the plants and animals, gi-define ang plants, and then gi-define din ang crop, no, from that plant, general term of plant, tapos himay-himay na pod siya, no, for those crop plant. No? From that crop plant, gi-define din ang what is crop science. So ang ato ang scores, crop science, defined or concerned with the observation and classification of knowledge concerning economically cultivated crops and the establishment of verifiable principles regarding their growth and development for purpose of deriving the optimum benefit from them. Okay, so therefore, class, no, when you go to the next level, no, kay kamo ra ba mo take ra ba mo board example po, no, if God will grant no your wish to become a licensed agriculturist, and one of these area to study is the crop science, no. So I hope no nga inyong mahinumduman ang what is crop science all about. Okay, concerned with the observation and classification of knowledge concerning economically cultivated crops and establishment of verifiable principles regarding the growth and development for the purpose of deriving the optimum benefit from them. Okay, there were two divisions of crop science. One is agronomy and the other one is horticulture. Muna inyong hinumduman, class. For our crop science, no? Sa atong crop science, we studied on the agronomic crops and the horticultural crops. Okay, agronomy. Agronomy is a specialized branch of crop science that deals with the principles and practices of managing field crops and soils. Okay, kana si soils, kana si field crops. Nabilong na siya sa agronomy. While the other one, no, actually, ang agronomy is two words na siya, agron and nomos. Okay? Agron and nomos. So, the other classification or division of crop science is horticulture. Deals with gardens and plants within an enclosure. It includes pomology, floriculture, nursery management, landscape gardening. Okay? So when we see pomology, by the way, there were two words still sa horticulture. One is hortus and the other one is cultura. Hortus means plants, cultura means cultivation. cultivation. Okay, there were several branches of horticulture. One is pomology, means it is the study of fruits. Horticulture, study of vegetables. Floriculture, study of flowers. Nursery management and landscaping garden. Okay, crop production as a science, business, and art. Actually, nana ni sa inyo ang module, no? Kung na siyang hatay sa inyo ang module. Okay, the general classification of plants. Okay, I hope you have to remember this one, no? Inyong madumduman ang general classification of crops according to the systems of classification. There is what we call as artificial system, the natural system, and the other one is phylogenetic system. Okay, so we also have to discuss on the general classifications of crops. Okay, one to consider is according to its growth habit, according to life cycle, according to mode of reproduction, spatial types. Okay, according to growth habit, crops are classified into herbs, vines, shrubs, and trees. Okay, when we say herbs, they are succulent plants with self-supporting stems soft stems. Okay, and sa examples, the medicinal plants. Okay, mana siya ang mga herbs. Vines, succulent or woody plants without self-supporting stems. Kaya crawling sila. So anything that you see nga ga kini ang ga crawl, no? They're what we also find. For example of this are ampalaya or better gourd, the battle gourd, or what we call as the opo. Shrubs. Okay, shrubs may have main branches with no trunk and rarely grows higher than 5 meters. The examples of shrubs are those kaning kamansilis, no? Shrubs na siya. Coffee, for example. Okay, coffee. Okay, trees with single central stem with branches are attached usually taller than shrubs. Okay, so anything that are taller than shrubs is what called as the trees. Okay, muna siya ang four growth habits. According to life cycle, we have the annuals, biennial, perennials. Annual crops completely have their cycle in 1 year or less. Example, squash. The peach, for examples. Okay. Biennial plants ordinarily require 2 years or at least part of two growing seasons. The carrot, cabbage, salads, no? Muna siya ang mga biennial crops. Okay, so another is perennial crops. Plants do not die after flowering but live from year to year. Okay, so mga asparagus, okay, or more than a year, no, from year to year. Okay, according to mode of reproduction, we have the sexual and asexual crops reproduction. For the sexual is the use of seeds, while the asexual is the use of vegetative parts of plants. Okay, according to spatial types, we have the parasites or the parasites na. The parasites plants. Well, we also have the epiphytes. Okay. The parasites, these are called as the parasitic plants. Okay. Epiphytes, they grows upon other plants. Examples of these are the orchids, the epiphytes. Pero dili siya kung ano, dili siya parasitic man ang orchids. The other one also is saprophytes, grow in places in which decaying organic substances. According to classification of crops based on purpose, we have the cereal grain crops, the legumes, fruits, fibers, oils, sugars, pasture, beverage, spices, latex, resins, medicinal and present crops, vegetables, fruits, ornamentals. Ornamentals are classified into cut flowers, cut foliage, and flowering pot plants. So, naaman na siya dito sa inyong modules, no? Okay? So, according to special groups, we have the green manure, cover crop, companion crop, trap crop, and the catch crop. Silage and silages. Okay, these are special groups of crops. Now, let's move to the nature and composition of plants. Okay, So basically, ang plants, no, it is composed of several cells, no, sa plants. Okay? Cells is what we call as the smallest structure in the universe, capable for growth and reproduction. Cell also is what we call as the basic unit of every living organisms. It is an autonomous living system capable of independent existence and propagation. Cell also is what we call as the fundamental morphological unit of plant body. So, muna ang definition sa cells. Okay, differences between plants and animal cells. Kinaas siya diha sa inyo ang nana sa module nga gihatag po. Okay, part of the cell, we have the cell wall, cytoplasm. Akong ipakita sa inyo, ha? Okay, para inyong makitaan unsa ang gagawin sa plant. Nakakita na ba mo plant cells class sa inyong science before? Nakakita na ba mo? Wala pa. Class?
Naman na sa elementary, sir.
Yes, dapat sa elementary, no? So, sa college, kay ang plant cell is not siya sa agriculture, di ba? College, not siya sa agriculture, di ba? Nasa sa agriculture ang plant cells, no? Sa una, kay abi na to, og simple science lang. Pag mo isgot nga ni plant cells, is science. Karon is inyong mahinumduman, inyo nang ma-determine nga ang plant cells ang cells plant cells, animal cells is naadi siya sa agriculture. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, naadi siya sa agriculture. Kindly, off microphone sa i-off sa inyong microphone. Makita ninyo ni class? Have you seen this plant cell?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, muna ang composition sa plant cells, no? Ato siyang kuanan kay sa science magsaon na abin nyo og asa dapit nga
Yes, sir.
asa dapit day siya nga field of specialization ang pali siya og off sa microphone di abi, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, sa una sa elementary and high school pa mo, di ba ginahisgot ni ang plant cells sa inyong biology, sa inyong science and health, science and technology, di ba? Gihisgotan ni siya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tapos, ang challenge is, sa sige ninyo og study, wala ta nakabalo nga naa siya sa field of agriculture ang plant cells, di ba? Dili na to siya makita sa civil engineering. Naa siya sa agriculture. Kaya ang agriculture is deals with plants and animals. So therefore, we need to study or we need to know what is plant cells. Okay, so mo ni ang composition sa plant cells. We have the yung pinaka-outer, no, yung pinaka-outer good niya is what we call as the cell wall. Pinaka-outer good niya tanan, yung cell wall. Okay? So, muna cell wall. Okay. So, other parts also of plant cells is what called as the Golgi apparatus. Okay? Kani akong gipakita no Golgi apparatus. We have the cell membrane, yung cover, plus plasmodesma. Okay, kani yang small opening, plasmodesma. We have also the letter na ang kani ang nucleus. Okay, pero part sa cell is what we call as the nucleus. Okay, we have the Golgi apparatus, cell membrane, plasmodesma, the cell wall, the nucleus. We have two ERs. Okay, two ERs. One is the SER and the other one is RER. So ang SER is what we call as the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, kani akong point nako sa ako ang cursor. Kanang medyo pink ang color or sa di siya ang color. While the rough endoplasmic reticulum is kani ang yellow. The other parts also of plants are what we call as the ribosomes. Okay, ang ribosomes is naas siya mag-uban sa mga endoplasmic reticulum or the ERs. Okay, we also have the chloroplast. Kani siya. The chloroplast. We have the cytoplasm. Ang cytoplasm is kanang gipuy-an sa tanan nga kani ang mga chloroplast, no? Diha siya nag kini ang siya ang gahouse, no, sa kani ang mga other parts of the cells, cytoplasm. We have also the lysosomes, the mitochondrion, the powerhouse of the cells, mitochondrion. You have the vacuole, no, kaning pinakadako diri nga center. Pinaka-center diri with the vacuole. You also have the peroxisome, and the other one is the vessel, vessel, or the vesicle. Okay. And then, ang iya yung nucleus. Okay. Part of the nucleus, we have the nucleoplasm, the nucleolus, katong pinaka-core gyud sa nucleus. That's what we call as nucleolus. We also have the nuclear envelope, the one who covers the nucleus. That is what we call as nuclear envelope, and the nuclear pore. Nuclear pore is kaning diri kaning mga pores, no, outside the nucleus. Then gi-cover din na siya sa mga ERs. Okay. So ato siyang hisgutan, what is cell wall? It provides, kitaan niyo ni class? Kani?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Cell wall provides mechanical protection. Cell wall provides mechanical protection and rigidity to the plant cell. So kung ang plant cell, isa ka plant cell, na siya cover, no, nag-cover na, like for example sa tuan, kubiran ta sa skin, no, man siya ihang cell wall, kumbaga, no? Cover siya. Okay, it consists of cellulose that overcome pressures due to elastic property. Okay, there were 3 layers of cell wall, that be the lamella, primary lamella, and secondary wall. No, middle lamella, primary wall, and the secondary wall. Another part also is what we call cytoplasm. Okay, it is a gel-like material or fluid in which where the cells, organelles, and internal membrane systems are suspended. Dito siya maglutaw-lutaw. No, katong other parts na mitochondria, nucleus, the lysosome, the peroxisome, the vacuole. Dito siya maglutaw-lutaw sa cytoplasm. ERs. Okay, we have also the cytoplasm consists of the following, no? Plasma membrane, the ERs, or the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, there were 2 types of ERs, the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, it has numerous ribosomes, while the smooth reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum, lack of ribosomes. Mana sila ang ilang kalainan. But as to the functions, rough endoplasmic reticulum or rough ER involves the synthesis of lipid, while the smooth ER, it involved in the synthesis of membrane proteins and the secretory proteins. The other one also is what we call as the Golgi apparatus, collective term for all dictyosomes. The other one also is mitochondria, which is what we call as the powerhouse of the cell. Plastids, okay, there were 3 types of plastids: the chloroplastids, chromoplasts or chromoplastids, and the leucoplasts or the leucoplastids. Okay, for the chloroplast, it is the site for the photosynthesis. Muna siya ang chloroplast. For the chromoplast, it is responsible for the yellow, orange, or red colors. Mabita na siya, class, no? Nganong na ay green pigments. That's because of the process of photosynthesis. Okay? Well, ang maghatag og kani ang mga green, mga other than green colors is what we call as the chromoplastids or the chromoplast. Pero ang non-pigmented plastids, but once exposed to light, it may develop into chloroplast. It is what we call as the leucoplast. Okay, it is also divided into 3. You have the amyloplast or the starch, proteinplast or the proteins. The other one is the elioplast, fats and piles. Okay, so we also have the microbodies, cytoskeleton, the ribosomes, and then the vacuoles. Okay, and the nucleus. It contains the genetic information indispensable for the cell's life and metabolic function. Once a function in nucleus, it controls the activities of the cell by determining which protein molecules are produced and when they are produced. Also, it stores the genetic information. So, minute to say siya ang brain, no? siya ang brain gyud na mahatag og information, no, sa activity within the cells, within the insides of the cells. Muna siya ang iyahang muna iyahang function. Muna yung function ni nucleus. Okay, so let's move to the anatomical regions of the plant body. We have the tissue, organ, and then the systems. Okay, plant tissues and systems, we have what we call as the meristematic tissues, the permanent tissues. Okay, duha lang siya. Permanent and meristematic tissues. Okay, when we say meristematic tissues, they're part of plant where cell divisions, or what we call as the mitosis, or the production of new cells occurs. Okay. We have several types of meristematic tissues. We have the apical meristems, lateral meristems, and the intercalary meristems. When we say apical meristems, it is where the tip of stems and roots are being developed, or it gives rise to primary meristems. Kana bitaw mga udlot class, no, udlot sa kini ang tanom, okay, that is what we call as apical meristems, no, the one that help to produce buds, okay, that is what we call as apical meristems. Well, the lateral meristems, it is where the stem and roots. So kung mag-enlarge ang stem, that is because of the lateral meristematic tissues, okay, or mag-enlarge ang roots, okay, that is still kini ang because of the lateral meristems. By the way, sa apical, we have duha. The apical root meristem, and the other one is the apical bud meristem. No? Sa bud is katong dito sa tumoy, no, upwards ang iyang meristematic tissues. Mo bitaw na class nga, nganong motubo ang tanong, no? Anong mo motubo siya? It's because of the meristematic tissues, no? Apical meristems. Tingnan naman po niya ang roots po downward. No, mukot-kot siya. It's because of the apical root meristems. It's because of the meristematic tissues. The other question also that we have, no, na wala nato siya nahibawaan, or wala man ganing nyo na naman, dinhi lang siguro sa crop science na nahibawaan, study, paano mo enlarge ang body sa stem? No, anong mo enlarge ang roots? It is because of the meristematic tissues. Just take note of that. Okay. Lateral meristems consist of two important cambiomes. We have the vascular cambiomes, and the other one is the cork cambium, or the phylogene cambium. So when we say cork cambium, is katong sa center, no? Katong going to apical meristem, no? Cork cambium, siya ihang covering niya, cork, diba? Cork stopper, cork. And where ang vascular cambium is katong sa iyahang outside the kini ang cork cambium. The other meristem also is what we call as the intercalary meristem. It is internodes and bases of young leaves. Internodes. Kita man ang kawayan niya, kay internodes, by nodes siya. So iyahang ang sa kawayan, no, in between sa iyahang nodes, that is what we call as internodes. Okay, that is what we call as intercalary meristems, or also the base of young plants. That is what we call as kini ang intercalary meristems. So I hope, no, inyo ning masabtan, no, ano ang plants mo move, mudako siya. So dili siya mo move de, sorry. Anong mudako siya? Upward or sideward, because of these meristematic tissues. Okay. We also have the permanent tissues that derive from meristem tissues, which have attained maturity form, thus perform the specific functions or function. We have the epidermis. The epidermis is the outermost layer of cells of the primary plant body. Okay, it contains the stomata and the trichomes. Stomata, asa na to siya makita ang stomata? Stomata. Ano na to siya makita ang stomata, class?
Sa daon, sir.
Yes, it is where no stomata is found in the leaves of the plants. Ang trichomes asa dapit. Trichomes. Kung ang stomata is nasa leaves, ang trichomes asa dapit makita. Anybody? Any guess? Asa dapit? Ang trichomes makita kay basig mangutana mo puhon. Okay. For the information of everyone, ang trichomes makita siya sa stem. Okay? Ang sa trichomes is diha siya mogawas ang mga kini ang mga liquids no na naa sa kini ang plant bodies. Okay, aside from the stomata nga yang natural opening for photosynthetic activity or kini ang catchment for carbon dioxide side ana. But we also have the trichomes, no? Small openings sa siya nga naa sa stems. Okay, we also have the parenchyma. Okay, parenchyma cells found in the cortical regions of stems and roots in the mesophel of the leaves. Okay, naa siya sa leaves ang parenchyma. We also have this collenchyma, thicket tissues found in the found in the cortex of the stem and us or along the veins of the leaves. We also have the sclerenchyma or sclerenchyma cells, or this coming from the Greek words scleros. Not to say it is hard. Okay, therefore the sclerenchyma cells are hard and tough cells with functions in mechanical support. Okay, other one also is the core. It is the outermost tissue impregnated with sovereign waxy substances. Okay, if we have no una tay gitawag nga kini ang plant tissues and tissue system, we also have complex permanent tissues or the types of vascular systems, vascular tissues. What are these? Two. Duha ra gina siya kabuk no? The xylem and then the phloem. You have to take note this one. Xylem conduct water and mineral salts upward the plant body. So when to say, gikan sa iyang root system, padulong sa iyang leaves. That is the function of the xylem. It consists of tracheids, basal membrane, xylem fibers, and the xylem parenchyma. While the phloem, it distributes the dissolved food materials between the source and sink. So, unsa inyong ilahanan ani class? Nga main taog xylem, no, pinakadali ni mga madumduman. Main tag xylem, X, na ang xylem no X. So, it stands for water, no? But then, mugid na akong ginasayo sa una. Kung xylem, it tells about water and minerals. Whereas kung phloem, ang yang i-distribute is food. So, P is to F, or food. Mugid na siya akong ginatiman sa una class. Xylem is for water, conducts water and minerals upward the plant body. Okay, while the phloem conducts or distributes dissolved food materials between the source and the seeds. Okay, so major plant tissues, we have the ground, dermal tissues, and the vascular tissues. Okay, plant organs, so sayon na kayo ang plant organs class. Mean to say plant parts. We have the roots, the stem, sa pagyod, the leaves, the flower, and then the seeds. Okay, muna siya ang fruits as well. Muna siya ang part sa plants. Kay roots to, kailan naman ka sa roots, no? Gamot niya. Okay? But take note, you need to know unsa ang parts sa roots. You have the root cap, root of cell division, region of cell division, region of cell elongation, and the region of maturation. Okay? So ako ipakita sa inyo no ang parts no.
Another level food is the second level food. There is painful condition or impaired physiological functioning. So, makategorize na dili na level
okay, class.
sa kanang technician if naanay difficulty in breathing or difficulty
Makita ninyo class?
swallowing ang animal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So muna akong giyaw-yaw karon no. Muna akong giyaw-yaw karon nga parts of a root. Ato na lang siyang ikuan. By the way, muna siyang parts of plants. Kani nyo ning nakita class, parts of a plants. Kani?
Yes, sir. Nakita.
Kani
Oh,
akong kining cursor. Okay. You have the roots, the stem, the fruits, the leaf, and then the flower. Pila ka buok? 5 ka buok ang part sa plants. Okay, for the roots, no, dili ta mag-una sa roots. We have the what we call as the secondary roots, primary roots, and the tertiary roots. So asa dilapit dani ang primary? Kania. No, gikan sa iyang yang lawas sa tanom, no, sa iyang stem, padulong sa iyang pinaka-center. This is what we call as maning gitawag nato nga primary roots. Pinaka-center gid siya. Okay. Well, ang secondary roots is kaniyang gaway. Okay, gaway. This is what we call as secondary roots. Secondary roots. Okay, gaway. Asa di ang tertiary roots? Kaning pinakagaway pagid niya sa yang isa ka gaway. Kaning magaway-gaway na dani. Okay, gaway-gaway. This is what we call as tertiary roots. No, so sa dang taklas kung naabit ato sa kanabitong mag-laboratory ta, no? Kami diri sa USTP gyud. Magkandak mi og laboratory. Ama siya ipakita dani. Pero bisan pa og dili ta magkandak og laboratory. If you try to imagine this one, I guess makuha man gid ninyo siguro. Or you can even say no kung mag-ibot mo og pohon sa tan kini ang plants din imong pangitaon ang primary roots. Mahibaw-an mo gid sa nimo. I think mahibaw-an pa siguro nimo ang secondary roots. O mahibaw-an pa nimo ang mga tertiary roots. Di ba? Okay, class? Did you follow me? Naka-follow mo na ako?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So atong hisgutan karon ang parts of our roots. Kay types man no. Types man ni ang secondary, primary. Unsa di ang kani parts of the roots, no? Kani siya. Okay. So mo ni ang root hairs. Para magbungot-bungot niya. So tigol as root hairs. Okay, along with the root hairs, gitawag nato ni siya og no?
Region
Gikan
of
sa iyang okay, this is the region of maturation. After that region of maturation, no, pinaka-center niya. Okay, this is what we call as the region of elongation. Kanang mo stretch siya, elongate. That is the region of region of elongation. The other one is the region of cell division. Aman may tabo ang division. It is in between the elongation and the root cap. Okay, during a part. Okay. During a part in between ana is what we call as the region of cell elongation. Kini ang gitawag nato nga root cap. Okay? Okay ba class? Question?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Wala. Okay. So I hope no inyo na siyang masabtan ninyo gamay. At least manggod no. Kabasan og magnangangambala wala man migi ko na sa Gomez no. So at least na makakuan mo makahinumdum mo. Okay. There were 4 types of roots. We have the tap roots, adventitious root systems, fibrous root system, and the foliar root systems. Unsa ang tap root? It is the primary root grows vertical downward. Examples. Unsa yung example ani tap root? Sa trees, di ba? Sa trees, except for the coconut. Coconut is fibrous roots man ang coconut. Okay, fibrous man siya. Okay. Ano? Adventitious root system, roots that grow from any part of the plant body other than the radical. Example of this is ang corn. No, kay ang corn is nasa roots tapos napagid siya iba sa iyang nodes ana napagid siya roots. That is what we call as adventitious root systems. 5 roots in monocots with all adventitious roots. So examples of these 5 roots is kani ang gitawag nato nga coconut. Foliar roots, okay, from leaves mainly petiole or vein, spontaneous due to injury. No, nga kana ang nabali siya ang taon tapos naa siya roots dayon nga mabuhi. Okay, that is what we call as foliar root system. Okay. So take note of the 4 types of roots. The stem. Okay, another part also of the stem is plant is what we call the stem. It is a supporting and conducting organ. Initially developed from the epicotyl. The major parts with the bark, path, and then the wood. There were types of stems of the bulb, culm, offset, rhizome, runner, or stolon, sucker, tendril, tiller, tuber, and the corm. Okay, so mana ang mga types of stems. Okay, there were various forms also of stems. We have the erect or strong stems, weak stems. Okay, other parts also of the plants is what we call as the leaves or leaf. Okay, so yung function, it is the food manufacturer. PS is what we call as photosynthesis. In leaves also is the exchange of gases during photosynthesis and respiration happen. In leaves also, no, sa leaves gihapon, diha gyapon mahitabo ang transpiration or what we call as the evaporation of the water. So dako kay function ang leaves, no. Muna siya class na nga dili ta basta-basta nga atong upawan ang dahon. Upawan na to ang tanom, no. Because the photosynthesis is takes place diha sa leaves. The parts of the leaf, you have the leaf base, petiole, and the leaf blade, or what they call as the lamella. Leaf base is where the part of the leaves is attached to the stem. Petiole is the stalk or leaf, stalk of leaf. The leaf blade or lamella, it is the green expanded portion of the leaf. There were two types of leaf venetions. We have the reticulate, and the other one is the parallel venetion. When we say reticulate, network type of beans. Well, the parallel beans, it is the beans parallel to each other. So example of a parallel beans is a parallel leaf venetion is ang kugon, sugarcane, grasses. No, parallel na siya. Pero ang reticulate is aside from that being mentioned. The example of reticulate is kining gitawag na to kining manang no, reticulate na siya. Hitchay, for example, okay? These are reticulate. Pero komenta og parallel is katong mga grasses, sugarcane, kogon. So man siya ang parallel venetion. Okay. Another part also is the flower. It is the reproductive structure of the flowering plants. Okay, major parts of the flower is we have the calyx, sepals, calyx, or also known as the sepals, the corolla, the pistil or the genotion, the genophore, pedicel, perianth, petal, sepal, and the stamen. There are two types of flower. We have the complete flower and then the incomplete flower. Okay, when we say complete flower, it has all parts of the flower. We have the sepals, petals, pistil, and stamen. So man gitawag nato nga complete flower. So one of the best examples of a perfect or a complete flower is what they call as the gomamela. So naa sa iya complete flower. Well, the incomplete flower is a flower lacking sepals, petals, pistil, or stamen. So example of the incomplete flower is we have the squash. Okay? So ang wala sa squash, no, incomplete na siya or imperfect. Another part also of the plant is what we call as the seed. Seed is a ripened ovule which when shed from the parent plant consists of embryo and stored food supply both of which are enclosed in a seed coat or covering. Take note that there were two types of seeds. We have the dicotyledon and the other one is monocotyledon. When you say dicotyledon or dicot seeds, embryo lies within an axis of two cotyledons. One of the best examples is beans, no? Kani mga liso sa mga beans, no? Baguio beans, string beans. Okay, one of the perfect examples of dicot. Well, the monocot consists of seed coat, endosperm, and embryo. Mono means single cotyledon. So examples of monocot seeds is rice, the corn. No, mana siya ang mga monocot seeds. Okay, monocotyledon seeds. Okay, parts of the seeds is we have the embryo, hilum, micropyle, root or what we call the hypocotyl, seed coat or tista or the seed covering, seed leaf or what we call as the cotyledon, plumule, and also the plumule, the shoot of an embryo. It's what they call as uh, plumule. Muna siya ang mga parts sa seeds. Okay, types of seeds, we have the orthodox, dries out naturally on mother plant to a low moisture content. Okay, more or less, 20% ang iyahang moisture content. That's what they call as orthodox. The other one also is recalcitrant seeds, and the other one is intermediate seeds. Types of fruits or fruits, no, as one of the plant organs of the plants is fruit is what they call as immature, ripened, ovary. Okay, kaya ang seeds is ripened fruit man siya. Okay, there were types of fruits. You have the simple fruit, aggregate, and multiple or composite fruits. So I think nahatay na ko isa sa inyo, no, nga module assessment as well as the types of fruits, no, according to the following classifications. The fleshy fruits, the dry fruits, or what we call as the indehiscents or dehiscents fruits. So nahatay na ko na sa inyo nga examples. And then, let's move to the plant life processes. Okay, muna siya ang chapter 4. We have what you call as the photosynthesis, respiration, translocation, and the transpiration. So photosynthesis, sa gani ang meaning sa photosynthesis, manufacturing of plant food, no, muna siya ang photosynthesis. Okay, manufacture sugars and precursors by green plants in the presence of light and chlorophyll. So muna iyahang chemical formula of photosynthesis. Okay, carbon dioxide, 6CO2, is taken from the air through the stomata, while water is absorbed from the soil by the roots and is transported in the xylem to sites of photosynthesis. Okay, so ang ihang kinahanglan sa photosynthesis, we have the 6 carbon dioxide plus 12 waters. And the other byproducts is carbohydrates plus oxygen plus water. Okay. So therefore, ang iyang i-release, no, ang iyang i-absorb ang carbon dioxide, din iyang i-release no, after photosynthesis is what we call as the oxygen. Okay, another also is in photosynthesis, no, sa photosynthesis, there were 3 fixations during fixation or reduction of carbon dioxides into carbohydrates, no. 3 pathways during photosynthesis. You have the Calvin cycle or the Calvin-Benson cycle, or what we call as the reproductive pentose pathway, the Hatch-Lack pathway or the C4. The other one is the CAM pathways or what we call as the Crocelian acid metabolism. For the ang iyang difference, no, sa kini ang carbon, no, kaning Calvin cycles, no, ato siyang makita diri in terms of kini ang fixation, okay, it is only 1 molecule of carbon dioxide. Pero sa Hatch-Lack, okay, ang iyang sa Hatch-Lack is it also occurs in mesophyll cells. Hello?
Alam mo, tingog lagi, sir.
Nawala? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Kana, okay ra, class?
Okay na, sir.
Okay. Okay. Asa na tadan ni? And then the other one is the CAM plants, no? It is during yung fixation is during nighttime. Pero ako ipakita sa inyo ang yung tables, no? The general characteristics of the C3, C4 CAM plants. Okay, in terms, examples of the C3, we have the spinach with potato. No, kaning nakita niyo diri karon sa screen. Okay, examples also of the C4 CAM plants. Okay, in terms of biomass, na makita niyo diri ang differences. In terms of leaf anatomy, in terms of initial carbon dioxide acceptors, na makita po niyo diri. first stable products, the carbon fixation pathways. No, ang C4, only one carbon dioxide fixation. Okay, for C4, there were two carbon dioxide fixation pathways, but they are separated in space. While the CAM plants, two carbon dioxide fixation pathways, but they are separated in time. Ang C4 may sa space, ang CAM plants is in terms of time. Pero ang C3 is it has only one carbon dioxide fixation. So it also differs in terms of glycolate synthesis. Okay, for the C3 it has high glycolate synthesis, while C4 and C4 and CAM plants has low glycolate synthesis. In terms of water use efficiency or salinity tolerance, low ang C4 but this low ang C3 but C4 and CAM plants has high water use efficiency. Okay, so muna siya ang under sa photosynthesis. Okay, respiration, okay, defined as the enzyme catalyst reaction involving the transformation of organic substrate into carbon dioxide and water accompanied by the release of the energy. So balipod siya sa photosynthesis. Kaya sa photosynthesis, no, ang iyang byproducts is carbon dioxide, carbohydrates plus oxygen, sorry. Pero sa respiration, ang carbon dioxide and oxygen, no, iyang gi-broke down niya, iyang byproduct is water, oxygen, and energy. Muni ang iyang ma-release during respiration. That is why, no, sorry, magluya ang plants, mag-transpire, kaya na-release ang energy. Okay? Na-release ang energy. The factors affecting during respiration, we have the age or the tissues type, temperature, oxygen, okay, and carbon dioxide, physiological status of plants or plant parts, and the other one is moisture content of tissues. Another also plant life process or plant processes is what we call as the transpiration. It is the loose from plants in the form of water vapor. So muna siyang mag-wilt ang plants, magluya siya. No muna siya nga ang dahon sa tanong plants is magluya siya or what we call as malaya. That is because of the transpiration. Okay, another process is also is what we call as the translocation. This a long distance transport of photo assimilates. Transport of solutes by roots to the other plants of plant passing the dead conducts or dead xylem vessels or what we call as the apoplastic transport. Muna siya ang sa translocation. There is what we call as transfer or a long distance transport of photo assimilates. That is what we call as translocation. The other process is also what we call as assimilation. It is the process of utilizing food or what we call as the photoassimilates and other solutes for growth of the plant. Okay, during the early stage, food substances are converted into simpler compounds. Okay, these are the enzymes. Okay, the nutrients. Okay, and used also as building blocks for more complex substances. Muna siya sa early stage, no? Food substances are converted into simpler compounds. While during the later stage of the plants, simple and complex compounds are integrated into the living substances of the cells. Okay? So, ma-integrate na siya ang simple o ang complex compounds. Pero during sa early stage of the plants, no, during sa vegetative stage pa lang siya, sa plants, foods and substances are converted into simpler compounds. Okay, enzymes are needed, nutrients are necessary for normal action for enzymes. Okay, and during this stage also, no, so during the early stage also, it used as building blocks for more complex substances. Bubitaw na sa vegetative stage sa plants, no, paspas kay iyang growth. Pero kung moabot na siya maturity stage, no, sa iyang going to senescent stage na sa tanom, ang simple and complex substances, compounds are already integrated to the living substances of the cells. Padulong na din siya nga mamatay sa nascent stage of the plants. Okay? So let's move on to chapter 5, the growth and developments of the plant. Yung na siya ang bago ka nato i-discuss, no? So growth and development. What is growth and what is development? Okay, so ato siyang i-define. Development denote the attainment of size by virtue of growth and architectural style of by the concomitant process of morphogenesis. Genesis is what we call as the origin. Morpho means, second and morpho, structure, form and structure. Okay? Sama na siya ang development. It has three interrelated aspects: growth, differentiation, and of course, organization of the plants. Okay, muna siya ang development, attainment of size by virtue of growth and architectural style by the concomitant process of morphogenesis. While the growth, noon sa ang growth, pagtubo, growth is an irreversible time change, generally accompanied by an increase in size, weight, or mass. Okay? So what is differentiation? It is an outward side of a sign of elective gene action, the reflection of change in the cell's biochemical program as a consequence of the release of information encoded in one-dimensional sequences. Okay. So 3 steps in plant movement. We have the perception, transduction, and response. Okay, when we say perception, it involves recognition of the environmental stimulus by the plant. Okay, environmental stimulus by the plants. Iyang recognize no ang environment, no? Environment kini ang environment no sa plants. Transduction, it involves biochemical and physical changes which occur in response to perceived stimulus. While the response, it shows the changes in the organ affected by the perceived stimulus. No, kung makita nimo nga ang tanong is from vegetative stage paingon sa immaturity stage, that is what we call as the response of the plants through its perception from that stimulus responses. Okay? Muna siya ang response. Okay. 2 categories of plant movements. You have the tropic movements, and the other one is nastic movements. Okay. When we see tropic movement, is what we call as the direction of the environmental stimulus determines the direction of the movement. So we call as tropisms, no? Tropic movements. Direction of the environmental stimulus determines the direction of the movement. Okay, there were 3 types of tropic movements, were the phototropism, gravitropism, and the solar tracking. Okay, when we see phototropism, it responds to light. Photo. Okay? Photo means light. Tropism is the direction. Okay, environmental stimulus or yung movements, no? Tropism. Okay, movement and response to light. Phototropism. While movement and response to gravity, it is what we call as gravitropism. Well, the solar tracking is a flat blade of the leaf is always at nearly right angle to the sun throughout the day. Okay, another category also of plant movement is what we call as dynastic movement. Okay, when we say dynastic movement, it is a movement may be triggered by an internal timing mechanism, or what we call as the biologic clock. And the direction of the stimulus may not determine the direction of the movement. The types of dynastic movements, we have the hyponasty, epinasty, nyctinasty, hydronasty, tigmonasty, sismonasty. And, okay, kana lang. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 canastic movement. Okay, when we say hyponasty, bending up of leaves, no? Magbend ang leaves, that is what we call as hyponasty. Okay, bending up of leaves. Pero kung bending down of leaves, that is what we call as epinasty. Bending down of leaves, no? Padulong siya sa kini ang ground, no? Epinasty. When we say nyctinasty, folding of some leaves in response to light, which usually assumes a rhythmic pattern because of its interaction with the biological clock. Okay, nectinasty. Well, hydronasty is the folding and rolling of leaves in response to water. So, on sa examples, hydronasty, kaning mga water lilies na to, di ba? The folding and rolling of leaves in response to water. No, kaning ato itong mga water hyacinth, for examples. Thigmonasty, response to touch or mechanical stress. Example, sa thigmonasty, makahiyaplan. Kung imo siyang i-touch, mo close ang makahiyaplans. That is in response to touch. Okay? Seismonasty, response to shaking without contact to the organism. Okay, response to shaking without contact to organism. That is what we call as seismonasty. Okay, so please try to, or not only try, but do your best to remember the categories of plant movements. Tropic movements, or what we call as tropisms, and the other one is dynastic movement. Okay, doon na siya kabog. And the subtypes of these categories of plant movements. Okay, let's move to crop adaptation. So we will end up the chapter 5. So by next week, chapter 7 chapter 6. The crop adaptation, we have the morphological adaptation, physiological adaptation, and the other one is biochemical adaptation. Okay, when we say morphological adaptation, that is exemplified by the presence of metamorphosed or specialized organs which performs non-typical functions. Examples of these morphological adaptations are the pneumatophores or modified roots of certain trees growing in marshes which serves as breathing organs. Okay? Well, the physiological adaptation, it exemplified by the closing of stomates of many bromeliads during the day to help conserve water, as well as the absorption of leaves in the deciduous plants to reduce the evaporative surface area, thereby conserving moisture and lowering of composition point. Okay, biochemical adaptation is the biochemical changes with some bearing on certain survival mechanisms, such as an increase in proline and abscisic acid and osmolytes in plants during of moisture stress to regulate increased water holding capacity of tissues for moisture, as well as stomatal closure to conserve water. That is what we call as biochemical adaptation. Okay, the other is, mabalik ko na ako, 3 types of adaptation, crop adaptation. You have the morphological adaptation. Morpho, it is, ang morpho, forms and structures, no? Forms and structure. Ang physio is functions, no? Yun ang internal function sa plants. Biochemical adaptation is the biochemical changes, no, with some bearing on certain survival mechanisms, no, sa katong during period of the moisture stresses, it is to regulate the increased water holding capacity of tissues for moistures. Okay, so since 7 naman, akong giingon naman sa inyo is from 5:30 to 7. So by next week, we will be discussing on the plant growth regulation, okay, the concepts related to plant growth, and the plant propagation. So muna siya itong i-discuss next week. Okay, question class. Question?
Sir, kanusa ka maghatag sa module 5, sir, paingon sa
Thank you. Module 5, burag di sa siguro ko maghatag. Gusto ko nga mag-attend sa ako ang discussion until December. Anyway, once a week raman pod ta class. Kay isa ra ko sa isa ka semana mo
okay, sir.
hangyo sa inyo ha. Kay gusto na ko nga kini ang inyong madunggan ba sa ako nga mo ni siya ang content sa tong subject, no, kay brag I am afraid nga kasi maadto ta crop science to, and then daghan mo pangutana pertaining to crop science 1. So bisan og ingan nila ta kagamay, no, you are 13, no, today. So okay ra sa ako, balag 5 ra ta magsugod. Okay ra sa ako, bahala na tong uban, ila na tong problema, no, kay kung maingon ra ko nga okay kani ang nag-attend dani dili mo submit og kani nga modules, so okay ra sa ako. So ang ako is at least, no, you will know, no, the content of what is crop science all about, no, kay brag unfair po sa inyong part nga wala gid ganing mo nakadungog sa ako nung nag-discuss ko about what is your subject, no, bala og mag-start ta og 3, 5, okay sa ako mag-start ta, no. I will not ask, no, more than that kuan, pero karon is I am so happy that we're all 13, no, for both section I and section J, no, for crop science 1. Katong uban nga dili mag-attend, no, it's okay. Basta og matingala na lang sila nga dili ko maghatag og module until finals. Then I will give final examination na lang dayon. So good for you nga nag-appeal mo sa lecture, no. So pero ako laging ikuan is at least 1 hour and 30 minutes lang gyud kay kabalo pug ko nga inyong mga loads pod pod. So dili na to i-extend og taas. Pero kabalo, no, my dear students, no, bisag ka isa lang ta sa isa ka semana mag-met lang gyud ta sa ato ang Google. Bahala na tong uban, ay na tong problema sila. Okay, because I am your instructor, no. Ako na may mag-ingon, no. It's depends on my diskarte kung maghatag ba ko og module o dili, kay basin og ma-surprise lang sila. Dili ko maghatag og module, no. Pero di gusto ko mag-lecture ta. Okay ra mo mag-lecture ta, class?
Okay ra kayo, sir. May problema.
So please be available na lang, no. Please be available every Tuesday from 5:30 to 7. Then kung mag 7 na gani, inyo lang din kung i-beep na, sir, 7 na, sir. Diha lagi tataman. So I hope walay conflict sa atong schedule. No, once a week lang ta mag-met. No other schedule. So until siguro sa December, I think mahuman na nato ang content sa module. And then good for you kay nag-appeal mo sa ako sa lecture. So please don't stop, no, joining my class, no, for this subject. So by next week mag-discuss na pud gihapon ta. Okay? So with that, I'm going to check the attendance, no, for those, no, wala pa na ako na check. Okay, Polgo, asa kani sa Angelo nga section?
Sa Black G, sir.
IG.
Black G.
Nuevo.
Black J yapon, sir. Same ramen ni Angelo.
Kahimtong.
Black J, sir.
Kahimtong, Black J. Oclaret, Jericho. Sa nga section si Oclaret? Oclaret? Pakudan, Rosmia?
Black G, sir. Black G.
Si Oclaret, unsa nga section? What section are you, Oclaret? Unsa section si
Sir,
Oclaret?
ako pa pala, sir.
Ay, okay. Okay, so you're all 13 this evening. At 12 lang di ay kaya 13 nun ko. Okay, so thank you so much for attending our class this evening. So hopefully I will see you by next Tuesday and the rest of the days, no, na ato siyang mauban ko ninyo for our lecture. Okay, so I just do hope that you will have, no, notes for the discussion that we have this evening. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. Let us pray. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
God prefer here.
Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so before we end, kindly open all your cameras. Okay,
Ayaw kayo
ako,
mag-bulsa.
mag-pictures ako, class. Yes,
Bill,
Aika.
I like you.
Aika,
Sorry, Bill.
nag-raise your hands. Aika. Okay, please open your camera, please. Mag-pictures ako, kadali lang. Okay. 1, 2, ready.
Sir, ngit-ngit man sa ako.
Sige
Dire na
lang.
ko ni Andrea.
1, 2, ready. Okay. Thank you so much, class. Good evening.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, sir.
sir.
See you next week, ah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
See you next week.
See you next week, class.
Salamat, sir.
Next week.
Sir,
Sama.
5 yapon. 5 yapon.
Yes,
Mga
5 yapon. 5:30. 5:30.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sige, sir.
5:30 up to 7. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
God bless you, sir. Sige.